Hello, welcome to this Jane's weather update. We've got a lot of activity happening in Queensland along the coast, particularly up in through here and down in the southeast as well. There's a large cloud band that is moving across the interior of the country, picking up lots of moisture from the northwest coast there and a little bit in behind it. This one here over in the west is going to very slowly move eastwards. It's going to get another surge of energy coming up from the south, and it is a big weather system in the days ahead. All right, let's take a look at all of that in action. So here I have the AI forecast. So that combines all of the different weather models. It has learned from conditions on the ground and has adjusted things accordingly so that the temperature, the wind, etc. is all right for that particular spot. We're looking at rainfall here today, and I've chosen 3 hourly time steps. So let's skip through it. So here we are on Friday. Here's the big falls today, southeast Queensland and between Townsville and Cairns. Let's focus on that for a moment. So this morning, moving through 11 o'clock and then 2, 5 and 8 and 11. So it eases as the day goes on. So a fair bit of activity in through there today, but it is the last one in this series. Let's have a look back over in the west of the country. I'll just skip back to the beginning there. So here is this getting going. This is the one we're going to focus on now because this northeastern system is easing. So here we are for Friday, moving through into the afternoon and evening. There we go, up and through here. Having a look at Saturday. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the morning coming down into the southeast, just starting to touch there, going into the afternoon of Saturday and into the evening, coming just in through here. So a lot of moisture feeding off the coast right down into the southeast. A big, juicy northwest cloud band that has rain underneath it and embedded thunderstorms as well. That is Saturday. Let's move into Sunday. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is Sunday morning. So all in through here. Adelaide was mainly hit on Saturday. Melbourne is mainly hit on Sunday. Watch the timing as it moves through. Here we move into Sunday afternoon and evening. It gets quite big as the afternoon goes on. That's that convection, those storms in the afternoon that increase as it moves in and then contracts a bit as we go into the evening. So that's the end of Sunday. Break in through here, so much less activity for these parts of Queensland and eastern New South Wales. All the activity by the end of the weekend is across the interior into the southeast. Let's head into Monday. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is Monday morning, creeping through western New South Wales, through Victoria, eastern parts of South Australia, all of this moving in through here, break anywhere to the east. Over in the southwest, there's a little bit of a system coming through. This is a developing system. It's building its energy. It's not going to have a big impact over there, but watch what it does once it reaches this system in the middle. So here we are on Monday, moving through into the afternoon and evening. And then Tuesday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got the energy from this one coming in, meeting up with all that moisture still pouring in from the northwest. What this does is produces very slow moving, widespread soaking rain. So we have a big weather system on the way. Now, all of the individual models that make this up, they're all saying something slightly different in terms of how much for each location, the timing of when it starts and stops, when the thunderstorms are likely. So you've got those little bits to contend with in there, but this is our AI forecast, which is the average of all of them, the consensus of all of them that is learned from machine learning and AI. All right, so that's there. There may be more as the week goes on and it pushes back into these eastern parts of New South Wales and Queensland too. Let's have a look at what the Euro thinks about that. Yes, as you would expect with all of that activity, we'd expect green across much of the country. So there's something coming up in through here, perhaps later in the period. Most of this is across the top, down into the interior and in through the east. So this is next week, Monday through to the following Monday. We're liking above average rainfall chances. The temperature to go with that one still has warmth in the southeast because we're getting moisture coming in from the northeast here. So if you think about the wind direction, it's pouring in from the northeast. It's got all of that moisture coming down from the northwest. It's wrapping around low pressure that is sitting back in through here over the interior. So all of that cloud to the north, that doesn't let extra heat come in. So it's cooler than average in through there for this time of the year. But in the southeast, because it is a northerly wind direction, we are slightly above average. I wouldn't be expecting super hot days with this. We've got too much wet weather, but it's not bone-chilling freezing because there's lots of humidity to deal with. We've got lots of rain that's happening through here. Okay, so that is week 1, which is next week. Let's have a look, a bit of a tease of week 2 here. we've still got lots of greens across much of the country, in through the east, and also potentially another system coming down from the northwest. So week 2, which is the first week of December, may also be a big one for rainfall for much of the country. And the temperature that goes with that for our first week of official summer, there is warmth across the southeast. Now, we had the green in there. We've got the warmth as well. That means our winds are likely to be northerly. It's likely to be humid, but there is the wet weather that comes with that rather than bone dry hot or freezing cold that is also dry as well. Cloud would be lingering across these parts in through here, meaning that we have below average temperatures likely for there. Okay, let's have a look at the MJO. It has just moved around this part, which is encouraging dry conditions, and it's moving to the end of that. We're now about here and about to move back into the green. So, having a look at the sea surface temperature anomaly, I'll head back to that in a sec. Here is this very big, very large area of much warmer than average conditions that are sitting off the coast there. That is a pool of moisture that whenever the winds are moving in the right direction, which at this time of the year is most of the time, it just drags all that moisture into the country. If that meets up with low pressure, then bang, we end up with all of that widespread rain. So that's our source off the northwest coast there. We've also got warmer than average water over the Tasman Sea. So whenever it's a northeasterly into the southeast of the country, that increases the chances for wet weather. It's the moisture part of the equation, just need the low pressure to go with it to turn it into rain. In terms of what's happening on Queensland, these are above average, not quite as strong as what's happening through here, but still above average. And there are some cool blues out through here to offset it. This one has stopped growing. There's some yellows that are coming back into it now. It didn't completely go blue, so it tried, but didn't quite get there. First of all, let's go back to the MJO. We have had that feed of moisture coming in here, even though this particular driver suppresses it. Now it's going to enhance it. So think about all the moisture we can get, which, if we go back to here and click on rain total, have a look at these values in through here. That's through to Tuesday. I'm going to skip ahead to be the end of next week. So let's go about Friday night. There we go. Anything that is yellow is 25 to 50 millimetres. A huge surge of it coming down through the interior right into the southeast. Less as we're going through here. This is more of an interior system, less over in the southwest. But you can literally see that pouring down from the northwest, thanks to that warm pool of water that is off the coast there, and also our MJO coming back into our neck of the woods to enhance this relationship that we have. So that's why we're looking at so much rain coming in. Now, in terms of Pacific Ocean, we tried to go into this La Nina. It has now, for the past couple of weeks, come back out, which is the yellows that are appearing in through here. That's that moving upwards on that map there. So we may not go back down into here. We've got 3 models, and this was as of the start of November that these updated, so it's not that long ago. 3 models across that threshold, 1 that is near it, 2 that are on that side of the threshold, and this one is remaining very firmly in the middle. So this is indicating now that we do have some wet weather coming in from the Pacific Ocean, but it's not a strong push. It's the same sort of amount that we've had for the past couple of months that have coming in. So likely to not be, definitely not being a strong La Nina, but we're going to have some of the effects of that because having a look at the ocean, we have a source of warm water there. There's a source of cool water out there. It's an imbalance, so it tries to push all of that moisture towards Australia. So this summer, great moisture source off the northwest coast. Great moisture source in the Tasman Sea, just like we had last year, that overruled the effects of El Nino, the drying from the Pacific Ocean, and the Pacific Ocean is a weak effect in terms of increasing that moisture. So 1, 2 that are strong, a third one that is there but weak. Okay, that's that one. Having a look at the IOD, so the Indian Ocean, we're now officially in a negative Indian Ocean dipole. It's very late in the year, but that has also enhanced all of that moisture to come in from the northwest. So that's why we're seeing those juicy northwest cloud bands. Okay, let's have a look at the forecast for the months ahead. This is the latest Bureau product. It was issued on the 21st, which is yesterday, and it has enhanced greens over the east. It's got enhanced greens over the west. It's got a little bit of a gap in the middle, but generally there's nothing really brown on this map here. And that checks out. We've got all of that moisture available off the northwest. We've got all of that available in the Tasman Sea. We've got a little bit of that available here. All of these waters here are warmer than average, so they are a source of moisture. That moisture comes in, it interacts with low pressure, and we end up with heavier than usual rain. So that's the outlook for summer as we go through. Let's whip around the country. We'll start in Brisbane. We've got onshore winds today. You can see that here. It's easterly, pushing in from the ocean. We've got lots of wet weather coming through, so showers are just streaming in. A lot of that activity should die as we go through the late afternoon, and then into tomorrow, there's hardly anything left. Temperatures should rise back up. Not the super heat that we had before, but at least not the low 20s that we have had with all of that wet weather coming in. So this is an easing trend in through here. And there's not much day by day, and then it really warms up as we move in through here. So for Brisbane and southeast Queensland, it's an easing wet weather trend. The focus is moving elsewhere. Having a look at Sydney, we are warm and sunny. It's not hot yet, it's just pleasant. It's in the mid to high 20s, and there's heaps of sunshine. The last of that cloud is disappearing now. Bright sunny afternoon ahead. Heading to Saturday, 26, lovely. Sunday, 27, just a little bit of high cloud from all of that activity that's happening over in the interior, but nothing hitting us here. So Sydney is on the high and dry track for the moment. Let's move into the southeast. Melbourne, very different story. Here we have the heat today. So having a look at these individual models here. Now, GEM, which is the Canadian one, so that pink one there, I'll just open up so you can see. So Canada, that one is never the extremes. So if we've got a hot day, that'll always be underneath what the other ones are. It's a 3-hourly model, and it just does not get the extremes that are in between. So you put less emphasis on that particular one. The Euro model, which is the green one in through here, that's going right up to 36. So is the USA model, and the Australian model has a late maximum, as it always does, which we're likely actually to see today, and that appears here. Now, the current temperature, it's already 30 degrees in Melbourne. We're about to go 11 a.m. AEDT, and so that is right on track. So expecting mid-30s today. The sea breeze, have a look at this here. So we're in northerlies. That flicks to a southerly about the mid-afternoon. So that's why the temperature can go so much higher than yesterday, because the sea breeze arrives later. So we've got a sea breeze in the afternoon. That should dip the temperature just a little bit. It'll rise again as we go into sunset because the sea breeze tapers off. And then it is a very warm night ahead, remaining in the 20s, perhaps mid-20s as the lowest point. Hot conditions once again tomorrow. This is likely to be in the high 30s. But here is the cool change arriving between at 4 and 5 p.m. Watch the temperature absolutely plummet. It should go down by more than 10 degrees in that late afternoon. Now here, 2 models have the chance of some wet weather with it. The other 2 models don't have it coming in. We saw it coming into the western parts of Victoria. It might not quite make it to Melbourne by that stage. More likely to be moving through Melbourne on Sunday. Have a look at the difference in temperature. We're now down around 20, maybe 21. But it's also humid as you move through the day. So it is a sticky day on Sunday, but not a hot day. It is cool, wet, and humid. What an interesting combination. Very unusual for Melbourne. But again, this is all of that tropical influence coming in, the moisture meeting up with the low pressure and turning into wet weather. That continues into Monday, mainly later. This model, which is I'll push that again so you can see, it's the Canadian. That's got some really big falls on it. In fact, 0.1 to 64. That's the range across all the different weather models for that day. So one of them really likes it and the other guys don't. So this is something to watch to see how that works out. And we'll have wet weather continuing for much of the rest of the week. Let's move into Adelaide. Today, here is the heat. I've got it turning easterly later on, so late afternoon. A warm night ahead, so remaining up in the high 20s. And then here is the real cool change tomorrow morning as that rain band sets in. So Adelaide sees most of this during the day on Saturday, 2 to 18 millimetres as it comes through. Having a look on Sunday, that's when it's tapering off. We've got lighter falls all in through here, may jump up again midweek as that next surge of energy comes in and meets up with that low pressure system to produce more rain. But for Adelaide and those parts of South Australia, it's mainly on Saturday as it comes through. And I've heard there's a bit of a game of cricket that's happening over in the west. All of the wet weather has now cleared. The cloud is going to clear by midday, pretty much in through there. It is a clearing trend. It is a warming trend. The bright sunshine that Perth is used to at this time of year is on the way back. So today is the cool one. So we do start off cool. Might even get a cricket jumper as we move into the evening. But then the heat is on for tomorrow. We are in sunshine pretty much all the way through. Monday, just a very weak disturbance comes in. We know most of it peaks up as it moves further eastwards, and Perth should miss out on most of that. And the timing of it is in the morning anyway, so no issue there, but it does just cool the temperatures off a little bit. That's it from me for this week. I hope you got a little bit out of that one there, and also got to see the new stuff we are developing here at Jane's Weather. I will see you next